Maybe this figure is supposed to reflect the quality of the FGO Camelot movie, which is like several tiers, several levels below the FGO Babylonia series. It was that bad. Hello and welcome to EXQ Blog and Photography. I'm Steven. For today, I have a mini figure review of this very simple press figure right in front of me. This is the Banpresto, well, officially it is Bandai Spirits. Bandai Spirits servant figure of Seihitsu no Hassan, or otherwise known as Hassan of the Serenity, an assassin class servant from the Fate Grand Order franchise. This one right here specifically came from the FGO Camelot movie Part 1. I do not really want to discuss too much about the movie. She did not have much action in this Part 1 movie. And the second reason why I do not want to talk too much about it is because I did not have much of a positive opinion of this particular movie. So that is where I stop discussing about this movie. I do not want to bring in too much things that are unrelated to the figure, to the topic today. Before I move on to the figure itself, we have a quick look at the box over here. And when I take a look at the products made by Banpresto or Bandai Spirits, they are the same company actually. To me, their products are extremely confusing. And I have no idea why they decided to do this. There is no consistency to anything. Now, this box design reminds you of the Banpresto EXQ series price figures, which are renowned for their quality at a low price. And at the first glance, you would automatically assume this is a Banpresto EXQ figure, but it is not. So you see, on the box right here, at the bottom you get the Bandai logo, but at the same time, up here you have the Banpresto logo. Officially, this is called a Bandai Spirits figure. Why is it the case? I have no idea. Yeah, obviously there is no EXQ logo on the box. There is the servant figure words right here, so I assume this is under this servant figure series. This figure, the reason why I'm letting you guys look at this figure from this specific angle compared to what I usually do, you can see my entire table, is because this is a small figure. So I wanted to zoom in on the figure. To give you guys a size comparison, that Banpresto Ana Medusa earlier, look how big this figure is compared to this one. Yeah, I'm confused. And the differences in their size, in the boxes and everything else, the labeling does not end here. The quality are also quite different, right? This Bandai Spirits servant figure of Assassin Hassan of the Serenity, by all accounts, it is a much more inferior figure in terms of quality compared to all of the Banpresto EXQ figures I have seen. Regardless of whether it is Ram and Ram from ReZero or the Idolmaster figures, the Love Life figures, this Ana Medusa right here, a lot of the parts do not fit properly to each other, so you get huge, massive seam lines on her leg, her ankle area. Even on the back around her butt, there's a very obvious seam line that connects her leg to the lower part of her torso. In addition to the seam lines resulting from parts that do not fit very well, you get a lot of very obvious mold lines, and mold lines are something you usually see on the side of the figure. But with this particular Hassan figure, the mold lines are exactly in front, in the middle of both of her legs. So this is really a crappy job coming from Bandai Spirits with this particular figure right here. Mold lines are extremely common on price figures. In fact, every price figure have it. But on this specific Serenity Hassan figure, it is more noticeable, and the seam lines are a lot worse than what you usually see. Not to mention, this is a smaller figure than their EXQ series figures. I can see this price figure not selling very well, and probably you will come across one for about 600, 500 yen over in Mandarake or Ami pre-owned section. Yeah. The only redeeming factor of this price figure right here is how good it looks in terms of a pose. And yeah, regarding her face, the sculpt of her face and her hair, the entire head in general, I would say I have no complaints. And these are the only two positive points about this figure. If I were to remove this figure from the base itself, right, I'm very scared of doing that, to be honest, because of how thin and fragile the foot pegs are. Look at this. This thing would break anytime if you plug the figure back into the base and take it out maybe a couple of times, 3 times, it might break. You have to be very careful. While I'm aware that I might have been overly critical with this very low cost figure, I had to wonder. We all know that Banpresto and Bandai in general, they are capable of way better quality at the same price point than what we are seeing over here. Maybe this figure is supposed to reflect the quality of the FGO Camelot movie, which is like several tiers, several levels below the FGO Babylonia series. It was that bad. With what I'm seeing over here with this figure, I'm kind of afraid that future figures coming from Bandai Spirits under the Servant figure series might not stand up to their EXQ line of price figure in terms of quality. That is my concern right now. However, I will still buy most of them because they are very low cost, and I do plan to review as many of those as possible, especially among the characters that do not have a scale figure counterpart, right? If only the price figure of this particular servant or character exists, I will still buy it anyway, despite being a Bandai Spirits servant figure, where I'm expecting the quality to be questionable. That about sums up the review of this price figure today. And if you are not liking what you are looking at with this figure, you are willing to fork out a lot more money for a nicer figure of her, what other options do you have? While many people may not be aware that this figure even exists, you only have one other option, and it is a scale figure made by Plum. Yes, it actually looks rather nice to me, to be honest, and I would prefer her with the mask on, and you do get the option with this figure made by Plum. This is one of the less popular characters in the FGO franchise, but despite that, this figure by Plum is not easy to find nowadays. Maybe the production quantity wasn't high, so you might need to put in some effort to get one, to find one, if you're interested in the Plum version, the scale figure of this Hassan of the Serenity figure. That is all about the review of this figure, and if you do have any other questions related to figures in general, please do not hesitate to ask me in the comments below. I will answer you as quickly as possible. Thank you very much for watching, and I shall see you guys again very soon. Goodbye.